as Passover. And they said, see, these dumb King James translators, they didn't know what they were doing. They were so infested with paganism, they thought that Easter was Passover. Well, that's not true. It's totally not true. You see, had the King James translators translated this word as Passover, it would have created a real problem with the text. Because they were already past Passover. Now they were into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Passover was days ago. He wasn't holding him until after Passover because it had already happened. He was waiting because, remember, Easter, as we celebrate it now, and Passover, they kind of overlap sometimes. Herod wasn't waiting for Passover to end. He was waiting for the pagan festival of a very, very bloodthirsty goddess who's ready to be fertilized, who's ready to bring forth her little secret that she has. That's what Herod was doing. The word Easter right here is the exact word that needs to be in the Bible. In every other Bible, including the New King James, that doesn't have the word Easter here, they're wrong. They're just simply wrong. Let me show you where I'm going with this. Okay, remember now, Herod's wanting to kill all the Christians. He killed James, wants to kill Peter. What spirit is it that's bloodthirsty after the martyrdom of the saints? Revelation chapter 17, verse 5, and upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Verse 6, and I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. You see, you know what Easter wants? Easter wants to sit down and have a Bloody Mary. She wants to sit down and have a bloody drink. She's drunken with the blood of the martyrs and the saints of the living God. She is bloodthirsty, and she wants more blood. This goes all the way back. Think of the egg as being a symbol of the earth. Go all the way back to the book of Genesis chapter 4. The first martyr was Abel. Remember Cain? He slew his brother Abel. What happened? Genesis chapter 4, verse 10. And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's what? Blood crieth unto me from where? The ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thine hand. As soon as Abel's blood, righteous Abel's blood hit the ground, the earth opened her mouth and drank it up. Did you know the same thing happened on the day Jesus died? The moment that the soldier pierced his side and blood and water issued forth, the Bible says there was a great earthquake and the rocks went and the ground opened her mouth. She was drinking in that blood. And she is a fertility goddess, but she is bloodthirsty after the blood of the saints and the martyrs and the innocent. That's who she is. Even in the days of Saul, 1 Samuel chapter 31, verse 8, remember when Saul was killed? Look what happened. And it came to pass on the morrow when the Philistines came to strip the slain, they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gilboa, and they cut off his head, stripped off his armor, and sent it to the land of the Philistines round about to publish it in the house of their idols and among the people. And they put his armor. Where did they take his armor to? The house of Ashtaroth. You see, that was a real prize to her, that she had the blood of the king of the Jews. Okay? So we look at the egg again. That's Easter. Okay? And this is the Easter egg. And you see it sometimes in old renderings. It's called the sacred egg, the mundane egg. It's associated with the moon. We talked about that. And I kept seeing this symbol over and over of the serpent entwined around the egg. And I wanted to know, the first thing I looked at was this idea that a serpent represents our DNA. You've seen that symbol many times before, the two joined serpent. We'll see that here in a little bit. But I want you to understand this. In fact, let's go here. Let's go to the book of Revelation. And I'll show you something really, I put a lot of thought into this, and I think the Bible is going to reveal some things to us about what is going to happen in the last days. Revelation chapter 13, John says, I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, and he had 7 heads and 10 horns. And then in Revelation 17, where we have the bloodthirsty fertility harlot, we have a beast in verse 8 that thou sawest was and is not and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Well, where is the bottomless pit? It's actually at the heart of the earth. That's where Jesus went to in the 3 days prior to His resurrection. He was in the heart of the earth. You might want to say He was like here, okay? And he rose again on the 3rd day. He took captivity with Him. He set the captives free. And He preached to those spirits in prison, the Bible says. And down inside this prison, the heart of the earth, the center, the core of the earth, down in the heart of that is the beast. That's where he is right now. That's what Revelation 17 says. We're going to see him turn loose here in a little bit. But I got to thinking about this. This is actually pretty interesting because here's a graphic of the planet, Earth. And remember, Earth is like a woman. She drinks blood, she's fertile, she's all this stuff. But the Earth actually, and the book of Job says she has a womb. Okay, when the flood waters issued forth as out of a womb, she has a womb. So I want you to think about this. The earth and the egg are pretty much the same because the earth has a core. Well, okay, I actually chipped it a little bit. I hope this is boiled. The egg has a crust, has a hard shell. Okay, and then you have the mantle, which is underneath the crust, which is like the egg white. And then down in the very, very center of in fact, here it is. Okay, you have this one's boiled. Okay, this is the mantle, and this is the core. Okay, this is what we call the moon. This is what we always. Oh yeah, that's the best part. I told you I like these things. Can't let them go to waste. This is a picture of the earth. I'll wait till I'm done to eat the rest of this. But I want you to think about this because as with the egg, is merely a symbol of a secret that's buried in the heart of the earth, waiting for the ground to open up again. Are there going to be earthquakes in the last days? Think about it. Is there going to be like a flood, something like a flood happen in the last days? Yeah, as it was in the days of Noah. So something is going to come out of the heart of the earth, out of the center of the sacred egg of the earth. Something's going to rise up out of that. Aleister Crowley actually caught on to this. Aleister Crowley was all about chasing after this sacred egg concept. And Crowley wanted to use a secret, okay, the secret of an egg that he was chasing down. I mean, this guy was weird. But he was chasing down this sort of sacred egg concept to find a secret on how to get in contact with a particular entity that he called Lamb. He actually drew a picture of him. Here it is. Okay? That was an extraterrestrial being that Aleister Crowley was getting in contact with. This being here was very, very special to him. And I want you to notice that Crowley's, of course he looks like an egg head. Crowley's drawing of Lamb almost perfectly coincides with what everybody in the whole world is seeing as far as alien contact. Now, is alien contact and the mysteries of the egg related? I'm pretty sure they are. And we're being inundated with this imagery. Do you remember this? Nanu, Nanu. You remember Mork from Ork? TV show back in the 70s. I never used to get to watch it because it came on a Wednesday night. And I always had to go to church on Wednesday night. Anyway, Mork is an alien that falls from the heavens in a spaceship that looks like, An egg. And everybody said, that's so funny. The producers actually, or whoever wrote this concept, got this from Crowley, got it from the concept of the sacred egg, that there's a secret invader going to come to the earth through this symbolism right here. Do you remember Lady Gaga? Lady Gaga, and on her way out, what was it, the Grammys or something like that, comes strolling into the Grammys, carried by 4 guys in an egg. And she talks about how she had this rebirth. She was in there for like 3 days or something. I don't know how she went to the bathroom. But anyway, she was in there for 3 days. Everybody says it's a stunt. She was acting out her mystery religion concept. She actually felt like she was born again when she came out of that egg. And of course, you remember, that's when she introduced the song, Born This Way. Think about it. Okay? Think about it. I mentioned in reference to the egg, the serpent entwined around the egg, and that looked like, remember this image that we use, we've used this several times. This is an ancient, I think it's a Peruvian textile. The 2 serpents twined together, that is actually a universal concept. The concept of the opposites, the concept, it looks like DNA is what it is. And so when you see this egg entwined around, or you see when this serpent entwined around the egg, it sort of gives you the idea that, number 1, there is something in the heart of the earth, but number 2, there's been a seed planted in the DNA of mankind that one of these days is going to hatch forth. I'll show you again this idea of the 2 serpents representing the opposites, evil and good, west and east, north and south, light and darkness, sun and moon, mother and father. And they're both contending for what's called the mundane or the sacred egg. What they're telling you is that in the center, at the center point of these 2 opposites, and the fusion point, is the great secret, or what would be the Antichrist. This pagan symbol is related to the 2 pillars of Freemasonry, Jachin and Boaz. Stop right here. Here again, according to the Bible, Jachin, 23 cubits, Boaz, 23 cubits, 46 cubits apiece. And here we have Jachin and Boaz, and they're fused together. The symbolism of the sun and the moon fusing together, father and mother, and they're fusing together at a circle that looks like an egg. That's the fusion point. You even see the ivy going around Jachin and Boaz looking exactly like DNA. The fusion of heaven and earth together. That concept, of course, comes from the Scriptures. Genesis chapter 6. There were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of